You know, there's something rather curious about the way we approach life. People come to me constantly asking how to win at life, how to succeed, how to get ahead. And I have to laugh because the very question reveals that they're playing a game they don't understand. They're trying to win at something that was never meant to be won in the first place. What if I told you that life isn't a problem to be solved, but a game to be played? And not just any game, but a game where the rules are far more interesting than anyone ever told you. The curious thing is that most of us spend our entire lives playing by rules that don't actually exist, chasing goals that were never really ours, trying to reach a finish line that keeps moving further away. We've been conditioned to believe that life is serious business, that it requires constant effort and struggle, that we must always be working toward something, achieving something, becoming someone better than we are right now. But this whole approach is like trying to play chess while believing it's a matter of life and death. You can't possibly enjoy the game when you think your existence depends on winning it. Let me put it to you this way. When you watch a child play, really play, what do you see? The child isn't trying to get anywhere. The child isn't thinking about the purpose of play or the ultimate goal of the game. The child is simply absorbed in the present moment, utterly fascinated by what's happening right now. But then, something happens. We grow up, we go to school, we enter what we call the real world, and suddenly everything becomes goal-oriented. Play becomes work. The journey becomes merely a means to an end. Life stops being an experience to be savored and becomes a problem to be solved, a competition to be won. You see, the fundamental misconception is this. We think we are separate individuals, pitted against a hostile universe, fighting for survival, competing for limited resources, struggling to carve out our little piece of territory before we die. This is the game as we've been taught to play it. But what if this entire framework is wrong? What if the game is something entirely different? Here's where it gets interesting. The universe isn't a collection of separate things, competing for space and resources. It's a unified field of energy and consciousness, playing with itself, exploring its own infinite possibilities through every form and experience. You are not a separate player in the game. You are the game playing itself. Think about it this way. When you play chess, you need both the black pieces and the white pieces. The game requires opposition, requires contrast. You can't have a game with only one side. Now, imagine that you're not just one of the players. Imagine you're the entire game board, all the pieces, both players, and the consciousness that's aware of the whole thing. That's closer to what's actually happening. The so-called cheat code isn't really about cheating at all. It's about understanding what game you're actually in. Most people spend their lives trying to win at Monopoly when they're actually playing in a completely different game with completely different rules. The cheat code is simply this. You are the universe experiencing itself through this particular focal point called you. Let's explore what this means in practical terms. When you're trying to breathe, really trying hard to control your breath, what happens? You become tense, the breathing becomes labored. It's not natural anymore. But when you stop trying and simply allow breathing to happen, it flows perfectly. Your body knows exactly how to breathe without your conscious interference. This same principle applies to everything. Your heart beats without your conscious control. Your food digests without your management. Your wounds heal without your instruction. Your hair grows, your cells regenerate. Your immune system fights infections, all without you having the slightest idea how it's done. The intelligence that's running your body is the same intelligence that grows grass, that turns caterpillars into butterflies, that spins galaxies and orchestrates the dance of atoms. Now, here's the revolutionary part. Your thoughts arise in exactly the same way. You don't actually produce your thoughts any more than you produce your heartbeat. They simply appear in consciousness, don't they? One moment there's no thought, then suddenly a thought is present. Where did it come from? Did you consciously construct it word by word? Of course not. It arose spontaneously from the same creative source that does everything else. This is where most people start to feel uncomfortable because it challenges our fundamental sense of control. We like to believe that we are in charge, that we are the authors of our thoughts and actions. that we have free will. But pause for a moment and actually observe. Can you choose your next thought before you think it? If you could, you'd have to think it first in order to choose it, which means it was already there. We're not actually controlling the show. We're watching it unfold and claiming credit for it afterward. The great relief, the tremendous freedom in recognizing this, is that you can stop trying so hard. You can stop carrying the burden of believing that everything depends on your personal effort. You can relax into the realization that this whole thing is happening by itself, through you, as you, but not because of some separate little you that exists independently from the whole process. But let's be very clear about something. This isn't an excuse for passivity or irresponsibility. When you truly understand that you're the universe playing itself, your actions become more intelligent, not less. You see, when you think you're just a separate fragment fighting for survival, you act from fear, greed, and aggression. But when you realize you're the whole thing, you naturally begin to treat all parts of yourself with care. Consider this analogy. Your left hand doesn't compete with your right hand for food. Why? Because they both belong to the same body. When you recognize that all beings are expressions of the same underlying reality, harming another becomes as foolish as your left hand attacking your right hand. Its intelligent self-interest expanded to its logical conclusion. The game, then, is not about winning or losing. It's about experiencing, exploring, expressing. Every experience, pleasant or unpleasant, is the universe exploring what it's like to be in that particular situation. You think you're trying to avoid pain and seek pleasure, but actually, consciousness is using both pleasure and pain to know itself more fully. Death, which we fear so much, is simply the end of this particular game. But the player doesn't die. The consciousness that looks through your eyes doesn't cease. It simply takes up another perspective, starts another game, tries on another mask. You've already done this countless times. Every morning when you wake up, you return to the game. Every night when you sleep, you leave it. Death is just a longer sleep before another awakening. Now, the practical application of all this, the actual cheat code, is to stop postponing your life. Stop waiting for some future moment when everything will finally be perfect. The game is happening now. The only moment you ever have is this one. You see, we're always living in the future, aren't we? We think, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I meet that person, when I achieve that goal. But when we get there, we've already moved the goalpost. We're now worried about keeping the job, keeping the person, achieving the next goal. We're like donkeys following a carrot that's tied to our own backs. We can never quite reach it because we're the ones carrying it forward. The cheat code is to realize that the game isn't in the future. It's right here, right now. This moment is the game. This breath is the game. This sight, this sound, this sensation is the game. When you stop mentally living in the past or future and actually arrive in the present moment, something extraordinary happens. The mind becomes quiet, and in that quiet, you discover what you really are. What you really are is not the voice in your head, not the stories about your past, not your worries about the future. What you really are is the awareness in which all of this appears. You are the space in which thoughts arise and dissolve, in which sensations come and go, in which the entire play of life unfolds. This awareness doesn't need to be achieved or attained. It's already here. It's what's reading these words right now. It's what's aware of your thoughts about these words. You can't lose it because you are it. You can only forget to notice it by being completely absorbed in the content of consciousness, rather than resting as consciousness itself. The game becomes infinitely more enjoyable when you stop taking your role so seriously. Yes, play your part, be the best version of this character that you can be. But don't forget that you're playing a role. The actor on stage can cry real tears, but when the curtain falls, the actor knows it was a performance. You can engage fully with life, feel deeply, care passionately, while simultaneously knowing that it's all a magnificent play. This is what I mean by life being a game. Not that it's trivial or meaningless, but that it's play. It's creativity. It's the universe exploring what it can do, what it can be, what it can experience through this particular form called you. When you're playing a game of chess, do you get angry at the board when you lose? Do you resent the pieces for not cooperating? Of course not. You understand, it's just a game. You learn from it, you enjoy the challenge, and then you set up the pieces for another round. Life works the same way when you understand what you are. The suffering we experience comes from taking the game too seriously, from believing that this temporary expression of consciousness called me is all there is, that its survival and success are the ultimate goals. But consciousness doesn't die when this body dies. Consciousness is prior to the body, prior to the mind, prior to everything that appears in experience. Here's another aspect of the cheat code. Stop resisting what is. Life is happening, moving, changing constantly. When you fight against what is, you're basically fighting against the universe itself, which is a battle you cannot win. It's like standing in a river, trying to push the water back upstream. The water will flow where it flows, and you'll just exhaust yourself trying to stop it. But when you understand that you are the river, not just the person standing in it, then the flow becomes effortless. You move with life rather than against it. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you act from understanding rather than from resistance. The greatest players in this game of life are those who play with complete commitment while holding it all lightly. They care deeply and yet don't cling. They strive without strain. They participate fully while remaining detached. This is the paradox at the heart of the cheat code. You must take the game seriously enough to play it well, but not so seriously that you forget it's a game. Think about the way you watch a suspenseful movie. You know it's not real. You know the actors are just acting, that no one is actually in danger. And yet you still feel the suspense. You still get absorbed in the story. You allow yourself to be carried along by the narrative. But when the movie ends, you don't leave the theater traumatized. You enjoyed the experience precisely because you could engage with it while knowing it wasn't ultimately real. Life is that movie, and you are both the audience and the actor. You're playing your part so convincingly that you've forgotten you're playing a part. The awakening is simply remembering, oh yes, this is a game. I'm playing a character in this cosmic drama. And what's more, I'm also the director, the producer, and the theater itself. The cosmic joke is that we spend so much effort trying to figure out the meaning of life when we are the ones creating the meaning. We're searching for purpose when we are purpose. We're looking for God when we are the expression of divinity, playing at being separate. It's hide and seek on a universal scale, and the fun is in the seeking, not just the finding. When you get this, really get it, life transforms. Not because circumstances change, but because your relationship to circumstances changes. Problems become interesting challenges. Obstacles become opportunities for creativity. Even pain and suffering become part of the rich texture of experience, rather than something to be avoided at all costs. You begin to see the artistry in everything. The way sunlight filters through leaves becomes a revelation. The way a stranger smiles at you becomes a moment of connection with yourself. The way food tastes becomes a direct experience of the universe nourishing itself. Everything becomes luminous, sacred, because you recognize it as consciousness, looking at consciousness, playing with itself in infinite forms. This is the cheat code. You are already what you seek. The peace you're searching for is the awareness that's already here. The love you long for is the fundamental nature of what you are. The meaning you're trying to find is in the very act of being, experiencing, living this moment fully. Stop trying to get somewhere else. Stop postponing your life until conditions are perfect. Stop waiting to be worthy, to be ready, to be enough. You are the entire universe concentrated into this particular point of view, this particular expression. And you are absolutely perfect, exactly as you are, because you couldn't be any other way in this moment. The game is already won, because there's no one separate to win or lose. There's only the playing. There's only this eternal now, expressing itself as every moment, every breath, every heartbeat. When you relax into this understanding, when you stop fighting and start flowing, life becomes what it always was, a dance, a song, a celebration. So play the game. Play it fully, play it joyfully, play it with everything you've got. But remember that you're playing. Remember that the player is vast beyond measure, that this life is just one move in an infinite game, and that whatever happens, you can't lose because you are the game itself. That's the cheat code. That's the secret. And now that you know it, the only question is, how will you play?